everybody. Hello, everybody. Hey, guys. First, let me ask you, can everybody hear me okay? Is my volume up? Can everybody hear me okay? Hey, Debbie, how you doing? Hey, Tiffany, Moments with Moni podcast, Fairbrick Studio, wow. Uncle Bob is in the house, Hearth and Home, Fairbrick Studio. Hey, guys, can everybody hear me okay? I have my volume up, I'm just hoping. Yes, okay. So, the post office where I get my mail, where my Okies Eden mail is sent, is a very small town. Their post office is part-time. So when I get a notice that I have something in my mailbox, it may not be in the mailbox for 2 or 3 days. Because what happens is they drop the stuff off in the morning, and then the person gets there from 12 to 3 or 4, Monday through Friday, and they're only there from 9 a.m. till 10 a.m. on Saturday. So, oh, Natty, I got some information for you. And so I was told 4 days ago, I had a letter or something in my mailbox. And I knew it was coming, but I kept going over and checking. And what happens is, you know, the guy gets there, he's part-time, so if he's got a bunch of stuff to unload and put in bags or in the boxes and take care of customers, he doesn't always get to it that day. It's one of the things of being in having your post office box in a small town. So anyways, I got this, and I'm assuming it is seeds, which means I now have to create another plaque for the subscriber garden, which I still have 2 to make, well, 2 to finish. They're in process. This will be a 3rd. But I don't know what to expect. It's in a card. That's a very good idea. Let's see what I got. Okay. So, oh my goodness. This is so cool. This is so cool. Sorry, guys. I'm just shocked at this. This is how they did this was really, really cool. So I've been following Canned Mac Project. It's literally the Canned, K-A-N-D, Mac Project. If you can read that, I don't know if that's backwards. The Canned Mac Project. I've been following them. And they said they were going to send me some seeds. And this is really cool. They have a card. Hey, Misty, how you doing? They have a card. Living Life is the project. It's Canned Mac Project. If you don't follow Canned Mac Project, go check them out. And then it's Sock and Minnow is their channel. So I have been following them, and they said they were going to send me some yellow watermelon seeds. But what's cool is they put it in a card, number 1. And I don't think they'll mind me reading the note because it's very, very simple note. Jason, here are the yellow watermelon seeds I harvested. Enjoy growing and the melons when they grow. But the cool thing is, I don't know if you guys can see this, they sent me a charm for like a bracelet or a necklace. Look at that. That is and it's Sock Monkey, and it's established 2017 USA. So that is my first merchandise that somebody sent me for their channel. And I want to start doing that because as I start to get merchandise and stuff that I can give away cheaply, inexpensively I should say, I would like to start trading stuff with some of my subscribers. But how cool is that? They sent me this, they sent me their card, and they sent me watermelon seeds. So I have to now create a, this is so cool. This is really so cool. And what's amazing is I know they're smaller seeds, but look at how tiny, I mean, compared to my other watermelon seeds, look at how small these are. I'm psyched about this. Because as you know, I'm planting watermelons. So now, instead of planting, I'll plant a black one, a white one, and one of these. So this will be a yellow watermelon. I know it's not yellow on the outside. I'm sorry. I'm gonna plant pumpkin seeds and then this watermelon seed next to the pumpkins and let them grow kind of together. That is, I'm excited about that. Thank you so much. I read the Canned Mac Project. Go check them out. I've been following their channel lately, and I think I did one of their a shout out for them. And they've been very supportive and helpful. They've been a pretty good part of this little community we got going on. Today, really quick, I just wanted to kind of turn my attention to a couple things. Let's see. I'm messing this up. Foraging and Urban Farming sent me some more seeds. They sent me turnip seeds. And then last week, when I did a live and I planted them, I mistakenly in the live called them asparagus seeds. And I actually labeled them on the thing asparagus seeds, but they're turnip seeds. So I have 1, 2, 3 that have actually sprouted. And now that grew another ½ an inch overnight. I showed you guys the other day on that. Look at that. So I got to bring the light down lower, which was my fault. You know, you're supposed to increase the height of the light as the plant grows so it bushes out. I didn't. I had it up here, and that's my fault. I'm hoping that they will bush out a little bit. You know, that's just a rookie mistake. I'm not a hydroponic. You know, I'm new to hydroponics. So I'm going to transplant those hopefully next week. I had to remove the little greenhouse cover, the little dome here, because they're literally pushing the dome over, and they're growing straight as an arrow. Now the other 2, I grew 5. 1 is still dormant. 1 looks like, okay, 1 is sprouted, so I have 4. You can't see it, but it is sprouted down in the pod. So that's awesome. Thanks for everybody being here. I really appreciate this. So there. So it's been a wild ride today. I went over to my grandson's house last night. He was in some pain, and I got over there early this morning. Was there at about 10 o'clock. And then I got home. I was originally doing this earlier, and I had to switch it back because oh, that's cool, local reviewer, got apple seeds growing. So I didn't want to push it and just try to rush the thing, so I pushed it back to 2 o'clock. But anyways, now that you've seen the turnips, I'm going to transplant those. If they're transplantable next week, I'll transplant them. I went to Dollar General this morning on the way home from my grandson's house. And lo and behold, they had 6, 2 in the back, 8 more of these $1 1-gallon buckets with handles. I've been using these for my planters, and that's what I've been telling people. So this has been one of my little cheap hacks. I just take my drill, or a wood awl or a poker or a knife, poke holes so they don't fill up with water. If you get a rainstorm, they just drain. Put a couple here. $8, you get 8 buckets, and they're 4 or 5. I went into the Dollar General section for the plantings, for planting. Their planter boxes, they're little bins like this that are a gallon. They want $5. And I'm like, I'm not paying $5 when I can go right around the corner. And I told the guy that at the thing, and I said, you know, you guys keep selling out of these. It's me. I said, I keep buying them. He goes, what are you buying them for? He goes, you mopping a lot? I'm like, no. I said, I use them for planters. He goes, oh, that's a good idea. Hello, Soldier. Soldier Farms is here. Hey, let me give you a... Oh, thank you, Misty. Misty sent some jewels. I don't know. I still, even being partially monetized, I have to look that up. I don't even know what jewels means. I'll have to look it up. Anyways, with that said, thank you, Spongy, and thank you, Down Home Misty Style. I really appreciate that. If you haven't seen them or met them, go check their channels out. They do some good stuff. They do cooking, homesteading. Last night I was watching for all they were doing gaming. I guess, I know Misty used to be into gaming, I believe. If I'm correct, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, Misty, just shout out that I'm wrong. But I think she did a lot of gaming, and I think she's talked about getting back into it. And I think Spongy has done gaming also, if I'm correct. And I believe she got the game for Christmas, I think. Okay. But anyways, I'll transplant the turnips next week if possible. In the meantime, I'm gonna transplant the 2 tomato plants, which I've been showing. These were from Carol at Broke and Bountifully Blessed. You can see the root system, how far it hangs down now. That's how healthy they are. And they would continue to grow. Those roots will continue to flourish. But I'll let that kind of coil up in my hand. But that is from Broke but Bountifully Blessed. Those have sprouted more overnight. I mean, they're really doing well in the hydroponics. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera here for a second. See if I can get you guys turned over this way. Or you know what, let me bring this over here. Let me do this over here. Okay. So let me just turn this down a little bit. Maybe you guys can get a better view. So this is my pimento pepper plant. And I know that you gotta, the root structure, you know, you gotta get them transplanted because they're continuing pushing out. And they want to continue to grow up and out. And they're in this tight environment now. So what I've done is, this is my composted soil. And what I did was, I did go out and purchase some of this seed starter, the seed starter stuff, because I'm not having any luck really growing any kind of herbs or like flowers without using a potting or seed mix. So I'm putting some of this in here kind of as a base, as a starter. And then what I'm gonna do is gonna tip this plant. Hopefully she'll come out. Let me just squeeze it a little bit to get it loosened. Get it out of my yogurt container. Oh, it's all coming out. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, hope I don't lose this one. That's not good. But let me quick get this underground. Boom. Okay, I think we're okay. I didn't hurt the roots. But now, those are in some good seed starter soil, potting soil. So we'll see. Did I just kill it? Who knows? Like I said, is this operation gonna be a success or will it be an abject failure? Who knows? But I'm gonna get some water on this. But I meant to do this last week, and what I should have done was I should have put water in this last night, which then as it dried, it would have kind of solidified a little bit. But let me get this out of the way. But that is a pimento pepper plant. So those will be red peppers. They're very sweet. They're just like red bells. They're delicious. And now the same thing. I have this other plant, and I've already placed some of this seed starter soil in here. And I'm hoping that things will transplant a little bit better. I mean, it's a good thing that, you know, I'm not a doctor, but I played one on TV and I stayed at a Holiday Inn, or I couldn't do this. I mean, I just couldn't do this. You have to be so knowledgeable and have such a higher education to be able to put a plant in dirt and cover it and put water on it. It just, I can't even tell you how much knowledge you have to do this. And I'm just kidding, of course. Being foolish. Yes, it is, Misty, it really is. So as I said, if I were to tape measure that root system is probably 6 inches long. So what I'm going to do is, very carefully, I'm going to pop that out. And if you're careful, you can usually get the root system all the way out. And then I'm just going to slowly coil it, nice and slow, like that. And then there's the plant. And then I'm going to get that seed starter around it. And then I'll bring up the firmer stuff, just like that. Look at that. I claim, hold on, I got to do this. I don't have any tape here, dang it. I was going to claim it in the name of Okie, and I was going to put a little flag next to it. But we're going to have to just not do that. This is what Okie's like when he's on about 1 hour sleep. Okie gets weird. Weird. So I'm just going to put a little water on this, get it set. Get this back under the light when this is over, and this should really start to take off. I'm going to put this down on the floor and then bring over my $1 bucket. So that's just a tip. If anybody does a lot of planting, go out and buy mop buckets at Dollar General or Dollar Tree, literally $1. Don't pay, I paid $8 for these. Instead I would have paid $40 if I bought their potting buckets. I mean, that just, to me, is just unreal. Okay, so far, our 2 transplant surgeries have been successful. Do not tell my wife I'm using her good slotted spoons. Okay, that's between us. If you guys really truly like my channel and you trust me and interact with me all the time, don't be that person that tells on me and turns me in to the wife police. I would get in serious trouble for using these in the dirt. But thankfully, I have to run the dishwasher in a little while after this, and that's going to go in the dishwasher. So I've got the hole prepared again. Yeah, she would, Natty. Because believe it or not, I've had a habit of throwing spoons out. So again, well, this one's even longer. So that string, look at the root system on this one. That's probably 8 inches. And I only planted these about 2-3 weeks ago. You know, that's what hydroponics does. That would never be like that in regular dirt. It just wouldn't. It doesn't do it. But so let me see if I can get this out. Oh, don't break it, Jason. Come on, Jason, you can do it. You can do it. Okay, I didn't break it, but I dropped it. I did break it. Doggone it. Anyway, so I still have about 3-4 inches of root left. Okies has the dropsies. Oh, it's more than that. It's okay. And there's more coming out the side. We're good. We're all good. Okay, then I'm just gonna push around my seed starter. That's that really good potting soil mix. So we're gonna see. You know what? Hey, Okie's only human. I mean, yes, this is garden surgery. This is plant surgery, just like it shows on my thumbnail there. I should have a mask on. I should have gloves on. I should have lights here. It should be a sterile environment. But okay. That is it. That baby is transplanted. Now this has room now to grow and bush out. It'll go under my grow light, and it should grow to be a healthy adult plant that I can get a harvest off of. Let me turn this back up. Boom. Okay, there we are, everybody. Okay, so that is what's going on. I don't know if anybody has watched the news. I know Misty and Spongy, I believe, said that they were getting some cold weather. Texas, I know Calamity Jane, JC Calamity Jane's been talking about the weather. And, well, this happens in Oklahoma usually in January or February every year. You get one or two of these. We're supposed to get an ice storm over the weekend. And if you don't know anything about the South in general, but Texas and Oklahoma are not set up for snow removal. I am from near the Buffalo, New York area, which is near Niagara Falls. I lived in Jamestown for years. I lived in central New York and Waterville, which was also heavy snow. And then I lived in northeastern New York for most of my life. So we're going to get, they're saying anywhere, some are saying 4 to 6 inches of snow, which is a lot for here because they don't have the plows. It sits there. You just sit home for days until it thaws. Or it's gonna be ice. So we're not sure which one it's going to be. I don't really care. That's what I was doing this morning when I left my grandson's house. I went and got my 2 gas cans filled up for our generator just in case. I also have a propane, one of those bullet heaters. We have the fireplace over here. I have firewood from a maple tree I cut down last year, cut and split. So we are all set. I can cook in the fireplace. I have a grill out here. And so we're all set, thankfully. We're fortunate enough to be set. So when Friday rolls around, and my wife does have the opportunity sometimes, and she'll probably will again, is if it does go into Monday with the ice, they let her take her computer home, and then she can work from home on her computer and then continue working. So, because they're in their busy season, and they let her and other people bring their computer home. City of Tulsa had 3 snowplows in 1976 when we moved there. So yeah, so that's what we got coming in. And it should be fun. Every year it's the same thing. And I'm thankful. I mean, I really am. I don't complain about it. We're supposed to get 7 degrees, I think, Saturday night. I try not to complain about it because I lived in the North. And, you know, we're so fortunate in the United States, face it. We're a fortunate country. We're a fortunate people. Literally, about 3/4 of a mile through the woods here is Dollar General. We've had ice storms before where you can't even get out on the road. It's so, you can't get out. They don't treat the roads back here or nothing. So I can just put my work boots on and I can just walk through the woods and be there in 15 minutes, get supplies if I have to, and come home. So we're very fortunate here in this area, even though we don't have a big major chain. Well, they're a major chain. But if I do need milk or eggs or flour or something, or water, well, we have water. But if we need something, we just, stay home and cuddle. So, I know Natty went through this and she had mentioned some of it on some of her lives and talked about it. But I did go out today, Natty, and in here is my packet. So this morning is a bank account set up to hook up to the monetization program. So, because if you're gonna do it as a business, you need to have your money funnel. It's better to have it funnel into its own account, and then any expenses taken out or anything put in, it's easier to track. If you try to add it to another account and you get audited for some reason, then you're trying to, it just becomes a mess. So I went down today, set it up, got it all set, transferred a little bit of money in there, the minimum amount. And then once I hit my threshold and they pay me, I'm all set for it to go there. So anybody that is close, like Poetic Tears, V Without Borders, a couple other people that are close, you're going to have to supply some kind of an account for them to put the money into. Now, I also have another account like that because my wife have our account, and then I have a small account with only a couple $100 in it because that is tied to PayPal and Venmo and some things that do get hacked every once in a while. because Dollar General does a lot of rebates. So what I do is when I go Saturday shopping to get my $5 off and the specials on Saturday, they have a lot of rebates. So I'll buy the things on rebate, and then I have that tied, PayPal ties it to that account. So if PayPal ever gets hacked, which they do, if it gets hacked in the future and they do get into that account, they're gonna get $200. So if, I would have no problem getting my money back if it went, but I'm not gonna chance our main account for my wife and I when it's just for rebates and money back from things. So at most it'll have $300 in there, then we take that $100 extra and we just transfer it over. So that's what this is about too. So even if somebody got into my YouTube and hacked it and got into the bank account, it's gonna have only a couple $100 in it. And then, you know, if they get that, I'm still surviving. Hey Spongy, how you doing? You open, okay, bank account, okay, when you started in 2023, right? You started a website, yes, right. So, oh, thank you, Natty, yeah. I know they do, yeah, Natty, I know they do, but still, I know some people that have gone through it, and even with the insurance, it still takes time to trace it, to figure out what happened, and then for them to get it back to you. It took them quite some time, and I know it was a very frustrating process. So I'd rather be frustrated about somebody took $200. I would just be like, you know what, shut the account down. I'll start another one. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna lose sleep over that. But if they got into where you have thousands, or, you know, in my case, I'm a 100-air. Everybody knows, because Okies Eden is so successful now. I'm a 100-air. You know, how many 100-airs are there in the world? I mean, there's not many. There's only a few 100-airs. See you later. See you later, Mural from Hearth and Home. The ball will roll fast now. It probably will. But yeah, so they actually did a really good job. They gave me this. I got the debit card. They gave me the business card with the account on it. And somebody else mentioned to me, I can't remember who. It might have been Natty. It was either Natty or somebody else, but they said do the business card. And now that I see their business card, and they have the code on the back, what do they call those? A QR code? They have the QR code on the back, so you can look them up. I'm gonna get some of those made for that coffee shop, and if I get a coffee grind for my channel, I'll make sure one of these is on each one, or it'll be on the bag. That way people can actually go, hey, who makes this coffee? They can actually look me up. I think the bank lady was looking me up today. She goes, what's this for? What kind of business? I'm like, oh, I got monetized on YouTube. Partially, I'm still not fully monetized yet, people. It's, you know, you get to the end where you feel like you're so close, and like every day is like fingernails down the chalkboard. It's like, come on, get over the top already, please. Because you know you're 5 days behind. You don't know how many watch hours you'll have each of those days. You could have 5, you could have 20, you could have 25. So you can't even figure out, you know, if I'm averaging 25, I made it. If I'm averaging 10, I didn't make it. But it's just funny. It just plays with your mind a little bit, or what I have for a mind. Flyers and postcards to put them on bulletin boards. Yes, I will do that too. Hey, Traveling Wickhomes, I'm doing well. I think everybody else here is doing well. I know Spongy and Misty were sick, and I know Debbie had some surgery. Is Janet here? I didn't see Janet come in. How is Janet? Is it Janet's husband that was in the hospital? Is he doing any better? I hope he's doing better. If anybody knows, if they don't mind just dropping that in there. Hopefully everybody's going to get a chance today. If you, yeah, you know what? Bumper sticker for the car. Yes, yes, yes. A bumper sticker that has, yeah, and don't even put the YouTube. I saw somebody else do that. They put just the QR code, and then people drive up and they put their phone on it and it pops up instead of them sitting there trying to remember it. Do the QR code. Good idea. That I did have that idea for my t-shirt. If I do a t-shirt, I'm going to hopefully meet with him tomorrow. I want to see if he can do that with a QR code in the back for my channel. And I've seen other people do that where they're walking along and somebody puts the QR code, their phone up on the QR code, and it goes to that channel. I'd love to have a couple of those shirts because, you know, we go to Oklahoma City a lot. We walk around town a lot. And I know people would do that. I've been telling people, because everybody's been saying, you don't do dad jokes, you don't do dad jokes anymore. Well, you know what? I do still do dad jokes. I've been trying to put them more in my videos, because if I just do a dad joke, it tanks the views, everything. It just tanks the channel, which I knew that. So that's why I've kind of stepped back from some of the shorts with jokes. And then I'm gonna start releasing more shorts that come out of the other videos, so that they actually have already run. YouTube isn't gonna ding me for it being not in the niche, because it's already been in the niche, if you know what I mean. Why do gorillas have big nostrils? Why do gorillas have big nostrils? They have big fingers. So they have big fingers, they have big nostrils. The other day, I fired the guy that mows my lawn. I've had it with him. I'm just done with it. I said, you're fired. Because he's just not cutting it. Hey, you guys asked for the jokes. I'm just telling them, so. Now this one here fits me very well. I tried to grow a joke tree in my garden. I did. You ever hear of a joke tree? I tried to grow one, but all I got was pumpkins. That joke was specifically designed for me because of my pumpkins. And I told this one before, but spring is here. I'm so excited I wet my plants. And if you're here, if you're late here, I don't know if they're here, if they came in. Hey coach, how you doing? Yes, I figured IT department nightmare. Oh, IT is always fun. I said earlier, this is really cool. I'm really excited about this. If anybody has any stickers or merchandise like emblems or pins, or they want to trade some stuff at some point, let me know, because when I start getting I have merchandise that's coming in. It won't be here till February. I would like to start trading with some of my subscribers, because I would love to have, you're ready to scrub in. Karen, the operation's done. We planted two of my tomato plants, and we transplanted the pepper plant. You know, and you got to be careful, because, you know, transplants, they come in the cold thing, and you only got like 45 minutes to get them in the dirt. I'm just kidding. But yeah, the Canned Mac Project, 69, Canned Mac Project, they sent me seeds, yellow watermelon seeds, which I'm excited about. And like, I know Natty said this before, is they have a card, and that's a really good idea. And then they sent me this beautiful card, and it's for the MD Anderson Cancer Center. So money obviously must go to the cancer center, which is cool. And a nice little note. And then they sent me the charm for either like a bracelet or a necklace, and it says it's their Sock Monkey 69 with a little monkey on it, and it's established 2017 USA, and they taped it to the inside. So I'm gonna try to get like a little bulletin board together, or it'll end up being a big one eventually. But I'd really like to get some stickers and things like that. The inexpensive stuff you trade with other YouTubers. And I think when I go to Lake Texoma this year with M&T Homesteads and Hardknack Farms, I think Gillum Farms is gonna be there. A whole bunch of people are gonna be there. I think they trade stuff there, so I'll get some stickers at some point and take them over to trade. Because I would love to have the room set up in the back where I do a lot of my lives, not most of them, but a lot of them, with the board behind me with all the different channels. I think that would be really, really cool. Vistaprint will print you some nice cards, and you have a lot of design. Yes, Natty, my son does, thank you, Tiffany. My son has, he has a business where he does birdhouse. I think I mentioned this the other day. He's got an Etsy account. I'm going to look into attaching that here because he does. I'll make stuff and then he'll sell it because he makes stuff. But I just don't like selling the stuff. I just don't like dealing with all that. So he's got everything set up, the shipping stuff set up for good deals. And so if I make a couple of cutting boards and I don't want them, I just give them to him. He sells them. He gives me a cut. He takes the rest and he ships them. So some of the stuff is mine. Most of it's his, but he'll take pictures. People will send him pictures of their house. And then he'll kind of scale it down to size and make a birdhouse out of it. And he's been very, very successful with that. People have loved it. He's gotten really good reviews. He just takes cedar boards, little cedar planks, cuts them up, paints them the color of the house, puts little shutters on. He'll make them look like a little garage door. He'll put a porch on it, and then he'll put holes so they look like windows. So he'll have it'll be a window that's in something black so you don't see the actual hole. It actually looks like the house with no holes, but the way he paints it, it's hard to explain, but it's really cool. And we actually commissioned him. He did one for my mother and father-in-law last Christmas, and we sent that to him and they have it up there now on their property in upstate New York. And it came out really nice, and he does a really nice job. But he does everything from that to he's done expensive. He just did this thing. This guy approached him and said, hey, I want it out of hardwood. I want it out of cherry. It's anodized aluminum frame with the hidden hardware, 3 tiers, and it's to hold all of his sound mixing music. He has a record player, and he's got a huge record collection. I forget, it was a few $1,000s, and my son took the order, and I said, are you sure you want to do that? Because you're playing with some pretty, you're playing some big money now. And he did an unbelievable job. It came out beautiful. The guy loves it. And then to top it off, he asked me if I'd go over there to help him load it up. So the guy shows up with his trailer, really nice guy, pays my son, we get it in his trailer, we get it all strapped down inside he's got an enclosed trailer. I will, Natty, I'm gonna post the link at some point. I gotta get it from him and make sure he's cool with that. I haven't posted it recently just because with everything with my grandson, we had some issues last night and with some pain and I went over half through the night because my daughter-in-law did text me and said, hey, would you mind coming over because he's been really sore and crying and screaming and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I said, definitely. So I always stay ready. So I'm there in 5 minutes. I already have a go bag. I got food in it, water, boom. Got over there, she went to bed. My son got home about 9:30, 9:45, took over. Anyways, the guy shows up, we load it in, and not even a month later, just the other day, he texts my son, he goes, hey, could you make me another one of the top portions? And my son is like, yeah, is it okay? Did I do something wrong? He goes, no. His dog chewed on it. So I'm talking this planed cherry wood is expensive. If you try to buy hardwood, it's super expensive right now. And he goes, no. He goes, I hope you have some wood left over or whatever. So my son said, yeah, it's gonna be this much. He's like, yeah, I just need it because the dog chewed it. He chewed up this beautiful cherry wood. I mean, it is beautiful. I wish I had a picture of it. I should get a picture of it. Let me ask everybody this. When you guys saw that thumbnail, did you guys like that thumbnail for this live with the transplant surgery? That hit me this morning was with my grandson. He finally passed out for a little bit, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, I want to do a live because we got a storm coming up, and I want to get a couple things in because I might lose power tomorrow. They're talking losing power. They're going to shut down power in our area because they want to prepare for the storm. They got some lines they want to put in. Yeah, bad dog. That's right. And I'm like, what could be good for that? And then I'm thinking, I'm transplanting plants. So I'm like, you know what? So all I did was I took one of my pictures and I went into ChatGPT did that. And all I said was, hey, take this picture. Can you put a mask, a doctor's mask, like I'm in an operating room? And then I'm transplanting some tomato plants from my hydroponics to a plant potter with some dirt. And can you make it like it's in an operating room and make it fit the thumbnail size and the, the aspect ratio of the 16:9, all that. First hit, 5 seconds later, doesn't that come up? And I'm just like, wow. It even put gloves on my hands and I had the tweezers and I'm like, you know what? I'm going with that. So that was this morning when I did that. And I'm like, I wonder if anybody will like this or will think it's kind of weird. But I thought it was hilarious when I saw it. So I hope everybody liked that. And I was amazed at how well it did. It with very little information, because it knows me now, because I use it for a lot of things. I don't always use it for, if anybody else uses ChatGPT or Gemini or any of those, I don't always use it verbatim, because you give it information and it knows you a little bit, but then it'll throw other stuff in there. Thank you, Natty. That isn't what your channel's about, or it'll say something that, no, I didn't say that, I'm not doing that. So you got to go in and you got to kind of modify it. So, but it's very good for like a starting point. It doesn't always hit it what you want for your channel, but at least it gives you, the terminology, or hey, I want to word something, and then you can change it around. But it was great. I had a good time with it. I know Misty does. Does anybody else use hydroponics? And then does anybody else here use hydroponics and then transplant to a pot like I just did now? Does anybody else do that? Do you use regular soil, your own soil? Do you use, this is actually the seed starter. So that's supposed to be made specifically for germinating seeds. I don't have any trouble outside. If I throw seeds in the dirt outside, it's got to be something about the natural light. Hey, Troy, how you doing? Just with my green onions, but I don't plant them. Okay, right. You just started an arrow garden with coconut fiber. Okay. Yeah, I hear coconut fiber is pretty good. Does everybody here like mushrooms? I like mushrooms, and I would like to try to do mushrooms. They have the kits, but I'm like, the kits, and then it comes with the spores and all of that stuff. But hey, per the driver, I don't know what they put in the spores. I don't know what's in, in there, the spores and what's going to grow and what's going to be in it when it grows. When you try to do organic and you try to grow from seeds, I grow a couple of years worth of seeds so that they become my own, and then they're more of a natural seed, not one out of a bag, because you've had a couple of generations of them. But you don't know I don't know what they put in them. I don't know how they treat them. I don't know if there's chemicals in them or any kind of additives, Yes, mushrooms on old logs. I have to watch that, yeah. But they take the 5-gallon bucket, you buy the spores. You can get them right on Amazon or any of the stores. And then you put the spores in there, you wet them down, you cover it and put it in like a cool, damp, dark place. And they grow really fast because they're, the fungi. But I've seen them and then they grow so fast. But I love mushrooms, but I would never eat the amount of mushrooms that grow on those things. So that's why I haven't done it yet. Has anybody, who else is in this path of the storm? I know Natty just had some snow, and I know Misty said she's got some snow coming in. I think it's a pretty big storm system, because I know I checked with my in-laws, my brother-in-law down in Texas, and it's going to be down past them, up through past us. Okay, is it the storm system that's down here, Natty, or is it, because it's huge. I saw the storm system, but they keep changing it. Like yesterday, they were saying yesterday 15 inches, and then today it was down 4 inches or possibly a quarter of an inch of ice in our area. But that still shuts this area down. Funny story. We moved to McKinney, Texas in 2009. In 2009, we moved to McKinney, Texas. My wife got a job with the county, and we got half an inch of snow. It was a little slick. My wife, we're from upstate New York, so you get 6 inches of snow, you go to work. The roads are plowed usually. You know, you might have to wait a little bit, but you'll get to work, you'll get home. You just got to take your time, and you learn how to drive in it. Because you drive in it for years, you'll know how to drive in it. You know how to steer into the skid and all that stuff. It's not hard. It just takes practice. If you do it, it doesn't bother you. She goes to work. Work is about 8 miles away. She goes to work. Parking lot's empty. She calls her boss. She goes, "Did I miss something? Is it a holiday or something?" She goes, "No. Anytime the school closes, we close. It's a snowstorm out there." And she's like, "Oh, bye, mental raccoon." And she's like, half an inch of snow is not a snowstorm. We're from up north. She goes, "Nope, just go home. You're paid for the day, go home." So my wife, I was working remotely because I worked up in New York, but I was home that week working remotely on the computer. I'm at the computer, I'm at the dining room table with my coffee, just working along on a conference call. And in walks my wife, and I'm like, "Hold on a second." I put them on mute, and I'm like, "What are you doing at home?" She's like, "Supposedly this is a snowstorm. They said they close down when the school closes down." So, hey, Todd. Thank you, Todd. Todd has been very, 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 very supportive of my channel. He's been like running stuff, and everybody has. I don't mean just to single somebody out, but Todd and I kind of connected, I think, last week, and we've been running each other's stuff. He's got a really cool channel. Raccoon Glad. Everybody here has a really cool channel. I hope I haven't missed anybody. If I missed anybody that doesn't have a, Natty, come on. Don't use centimeters. Natty, Natty, Natty. Natty's using centimeters talking to an Oklahoman that I struggle with the English system of measurement. And now you're going to expect me to toss in some metric? Yeah, traveling Wickcombs. Yeah, so for being from upstate New York, same thing. They used to have chains for the buses. So if they knew a storm was coming in, they put the chains on the buses, and you'd be like, "Yeah, no school today," and all of a sudden you hear ching, 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 ching coming up the road, because it would snow up there, and you'd have the TV on in the morning. I remember as a kid, and you'd be like, "Please close," and you'd have the school closings, and we'd be like, "Yes, yes, yes." You never see the school there, and next thing you know, you're like, "Crap." Get your clothes on, and you hear the bus coming along with the chains on. It's like, come on, guys. 9.8 inches. Wow. Yeah, have fun in nature, Tiffany. Yes, Todd, he is awesome. Yeah, everybody here really is. You know, this is really this is a great crowd. I mean, I get letters. I've gotten cards. I've gotten a hydroponic unit. I've gotten other stuff sent to me. It's just crazy. I mean, I have better friends now on YouTube than I have in my own real life that I can actually physically touch. You were just at Walmart and they don't have half gallons of milk, only gallons. Wow. Yeah, I know what's going to happen. So tomorrow I have to go to the town because I have an appointment. And I'm dreading it. I'm going to stop in real quick because I want to get some ribs and a couple other things. And if I pull in and it's busy, I'm all set. I got plenty of food here. I got Dollar General over here. I'm out. I'm leaving. I'm not going. I was in that mess the one day. I forgot there was a storm the next day, and I was just there for my regular weekly shopping. And I walked in, and you swore it was Black Friday. People just running around, knocking stuff off, taking all the water. And it's like, what are you guys doing? And they're buying up all the toilet paper like, oh no, I got 6 inches of snow. What all of a sudden? Snow gives me diarrhea? Not to be gross, but does snow like all of a sudden command you to go out and get 10 things of toilet paper? I mean, that doesn't even make sense. Right, $5 emergency pantry. I always make sure I have sugar, salt, pepper, flour, baking soda, baking powder, and a little bit of milk or water, because you can use water and some drink. And if you have powdered milk, you're all set. You can make pancakes, you can make biscuits, you can do a lot of things with that. And if you keep some kind of bacon or ham or eggs, you're golden. You can go for a long time on that. And batteries. Speaking of batteries, that's what I wanted to show you. I'm all set. Look at this. So these are those little units I think I showed you guys. This here is an inverter, 200 watt. We have 8 of these batteries. This is one of the small ones. I have the 4 and 6 amp hour ones, which I'm going to go get in a few minutes because they're charged. You pop that on there. You can plug your phone in. It's got both the Android and the iPhone one, whatever that one is. It's got a 110. I got 2 of these. $51 for 2. And then I don't need to change it because see, with these batteries now, that lithium, you push the button, it tells you how full it is. This one's full charge. So I can, if I lose power tonight, see how this works. I can, I had trouble with this the other day. It's on. I knew I was going to do that. Do it every time. And it's a flashlight. I mean, and you can put it up like a regular lamp or whatever. And it's not the Ryobi brand. It's a knockoff. They make them for Craftsman. They make them for Milwaukee, Ryobi, DeWalt. They're basically the same color, but they're a bigger wattage. They actually hold. They're more. These are 200 watt. The Ryobi is only 180. Oh, and I did want to tell you guys, Ryobi, hopefully, we'll see, I'm not sure yet. How you doing, Happy Chickens? Meat and beer are my staple items. Hi, Okie, I'm watching you on Linux computer. Hey, Terry's here. My ass can't take the digital phone anymore. I get that. That's okay, no worries. Good evening. Good evening. You sound like Count Dracula. I got an email back, Ryobi, because I have their drill, their impact, a second drill. I have the router, the sander, the other sander. We have the saber saw, we have the skill saw, the drill press, the table saw. So through the years when we do projects, we just add that to the cost and then get the 20% off. And then it pays for it pretty much. So that's how we've been collecting our tools. I've contacted them. They had me send them a video. So I sent them a short video of me using their equipment in the garden. So I sent them a snippet of one of my videos. And they're actually considering, it's still they do the evaluation process. But I'm in the evaluation process to see if they're gonna send me some battery powered garden equipment for me to do, to try and do videos on in the garden. And so we'll see if that happens. I don't expect anything to happen, but you never know. But I just think that would be so cool if they message me back here in a couple days. I've already sent it, they've reviewed it, it's in, they go through a review process, they put it to their team, and then they supposedly get back to you and say, yes, if we do, then they'll send me something. And then that's when I have to it is something that's sponsored, and you got to do that thing in YouTube where you got to click some different boxes and stuff. But I would love to do a review for that. I think that'd be so cool. And then I have a tool that I can use in my garden because you get to keep it. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, hydroponics doing well. My 2 tomato plants in the back are doing well. The black night pumpkin died. It's got to be something inside that the pumpkins just are not growing inside. They're in great soil. They're in composted soil, just like I do outside. I firmly believe it's the sun and the weather. You know, no matter how good they make these grow lights that are full spectrum and whatever, the sun is the sun, you know. Your greenhouse babies are outgrowing the little greenhouse. Are outgrowing the, yeah. Oh, Shannon, I meant to ask you the other day when you were on, I just forgot. Are you doing, are you guys going to do the chickens in that chicken coop, or are you going to forego that this year? And if nobody watched it, if you haven't watched it yet, Shannon did a really nice job on her countertops. She redid her countertops. I watched that. She did a premiere. So if you didn't catch that, go check that out. She did a really nice job. Yeah, I mean, nature's the best way to grow. I mean, yeah. I mean, so I know these grow. That's the problem I had with the potatoes. I got a small harvest, but outside I can get a killer harvest because, you know, the plants, nature, the sun, they're made for each other. They work together. You know, we jump in with these lights thinking we're going to recreate the sun, and it's lacking something. But I will say I can grow stuff in here and move it out there, and it does very well because once it hits outside, it takes off like a shot. We hope to do chickens, but life keeps getting in the way. Is life keeps getting in the way, I'm going to say that's code word for Aaron keeps getting in the way. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh yeah, my Sasquatch surfer. Foraging urban farming was the one that, oh, I forgot. She was the one that said when I was doing this that I should do, this is my charcuterie board. Look at this. So the third coat dried. Look at this. Look at how shiny. Look at the gloss on that when you put it in the light. It's smooth. It's like glass. And then, of course, you know, it's a charcuterie board. So my cups go in here, and then you can put olives and, you know, maybe mini pickles, and then maybe black olives, green olives, and then maybe some salsa or queso there, and then you can just put your foods all around there. Well, Foraging and Urban Farming said, well, why don't you do a thing where you're using it as a surfboard? And that's that post I put on there. I've never surfed a day in my life. I've never even touched a surfboard. I've seen a surfboard. But like I said, somebody else asked me earlier, I think it was Grandma Southern Corner asked me, have I ever surfed? And my answer was no, because I like breathing air too much. Because I would be the thing with the Greg Brady, remember from the Brady Bunch? When he had on that, the charm, the evil charm, and it was bad luck. And then he fell off and hit his head somewhere, and then they couldn't find him. Yeah, okay, so the counter project only cost $20. Yes, the Sasquatch charcuterie. So that is one of my thoughts. I did have some thoughts on that, to do something with Sasquatch with that. But we are going to have a get-together here pretty soon with my son, daughter-in-law, grandson, and his best friend, and his wife and son. They're going to come up. We get together every once in a while, and for my grandson's birthday we get together. So we're going to do that here, and we're going to do a big charcuterie thing. So that'll be the main thing with the charcuterie. So I'm going to get all sorts of the hard cheeses so I can cube them. I'm going to get different types of roast beef and ham and all that, have it laid out on butcher paper, and we're going to have another thing with salsa and chips and queso, and it's going to be this whole big spread that we can set next to the table, and then I can beat them all in rummy. But yeah, $20 because some of that's yeah you can people don't realize how just changing the paint color in your house can give it a whole new look. Natty did stuff with covering her furniture, gives it a whole new look. And it's cheaper than new furniture, it's cheaper than all new furnishings, it's cheaper than, you know, all new fixtures and stuff. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm gonna flip this up for a second. It's gonna get bright probably, but you see that fan? So this house was in rough shape when we bought it. I've refurbished many homes, so I have no problem doing that. You're doing it on a budget, exactly. So we found the fan we liked, and we really like these. These are the 52-inch fans. We had one in the master bedroom, we had one in the living room over here, and we had two in the other bedrooms. Not one of them matched. This one was so old and gross in the living room. It had dust and it had a really goofy faceplate on it, and all that dust was in there. I blew it out, and it was kind of like almost like greasy. I could not get, so I'm like, we got to get rid of this. Hey, Mike's Adventures. So I said to my wife, well, let's get one. We want it more modernized. This was old. This was like 30 years. It was gross looking. It was just horrible. So we went and bought it. I think we got it at Lowe's. Beautiful installation. I've installed them for years. They used to be more difficult to install. Now a third grader could install it. I mean, literally. I had it installed and done. Works great. We used it for a couple days, and I'm like, okay, let's get one for the living room. I'm sorry, the master bedroom. We don't have one in the dining room, and I hate not having one in the dining room. So I had to install some stuff up here to strengthen the ceiling, obviously, for this one here. So we bought two of the same type. And then I'm like, these were a little more expensive. And I'm like, you know, the two back rooms we don't use. They're for guests, and I use it for YouTube stuff. So I don't really want to put expensive ones back there. I'm just going to get the construction grade. Well, even though you do something for years, I go up to Lowe's, I grab the two, because construction grades, they were $48 a piece. So I'm like, you can't beat that. And I'm just not paying attention. I get home, I take the old one down, I get the new one out, put the fins on it, get it all ready, pre-assembled to put up. And then I realized, because the slope of the ceiling, I got one that's for a beam or a flat ceiling. So it doesn't have the pole that lets it hang down off the angle. So the way you bolt it up is the fan would have been at this angle with the roof. So I'm like, son of a gun. Trying to save a buck, made a mistake. So I'm like, well, I already got this open and assembled. We have an old one out here on our covered porch that was falling apart. I took that down, took that one out, put it out there, took the other one to Lowe's, got one of the other ones to match, which I should have just done in the beginning. And so now we have the matching ones throughout the house. And they all have the adjustable lights where you can pull on the chain and hold it. It goes from light to dim. If I pull on the chain twice, it changes color. I pull on it again, it goes blue, red, green, I think. And then again, once you get it to the color you want, you pull on it once and you hold it, it'll go light or bright. So it's kind of like your ring lights. You can get all multiple colors on it, mood lighting and stuff. But oh yeah, paint, curtains, even just some baseboard. This had, I can't stand popcorn ceilings. I know why they do it, I understand it, but I hate them. So 2 years ago, my wife went to New York to visit her parents. I helped take care of my grandson, so I'm like, well, you go ahead in this time, because it wasn't gonna match up where the couple nights that they needed me for, it just wasn't gonna match up. So I'm like, you go ahead, which she doesn't mind. She travels alone, she doesn't mind. She went to New York, and then I said, it's perfect timing. While you're gone, I can have these massive bachelor I'm kidding. While you're gone, I'm gonna scrape all the ceilings because we hate this stuff. And so every day I was giving her updates. I'd show her updates and stuff. Oh, it was a dusty mess. This house was, I'd go to a room, I'd just shut the door, get the vacuum in there, scrape it down, and then just vacuum the entire room before I opened the door. And then I had to wipe the whole house. I mean, it was just, that stuff gets everywhere. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, it's a rental, yeah. I wouldn't invest anything in a rental. Now, what I do is, last year when I was finishing up, I got one more room to do with baseboard. I was down when it was last winter. I went to Lowe's and Home Depot, and they had baseboard. I took 2 pieces of baseboard up for the bathroom, and the lady says to me, "That's like $38 or something." I'm like, "Well, wait a second, what is it?" No, that can't be right. It's 2 12-foot pieces. She goes, "No, it's $38. I'm like, "Not to me, it's not." I took it right back. I said, "No, I'm not paying $38 for 2 pieces of wood. That's stupid." Now, if I was working on somebody's house and that's what they wanted, obviously. So what I did was I went and I got 1x2, just 1x2 furring strips. They use them for roofing, for walls, you know, to attach drywall to. And it ends up being 3/4 by 1 3/4 or something. And they're not the best wood, but one spin through my planer, and I take my router with my bit, and I put a cove cut on it, so it looks like a fancy cut. Hand sand it real quick, paint it white. You'd think you just went and bought an $18 piece of baseboard. And it was $2.28 per piece. So instead of paying $18 a piece, I paid $2.28. Did a little labor on it, and that's how I've done our entire house. So, yeah, Claire, I get it. Yeah. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I get it because I used to live in that. I'm down here now, so we usually get 1 snowstorm a year, which we're supposed to get this weekend. But I'm not looking forward to it. But down here, it's an entirely different ball game. You know, you guys know, you're up in Canada. When I was up near Buffalo, when they said, "Oh, you're gonna get 6 to 10 inches," everybody was like, "Okay." In the morning, you get out, you shovel the driveway, you get in your car, you go to work. Down here, when they say you're gonna get 2 inches, everybody, they run to the store. I kid you not. Anybody in the South knows this. They run to the store and they just start buying stuff up like it's the apocalypse. I've never seen anything like it. It's like, guys, you realize, do you not have a day or two's worth of food in your house where if you were in a bind, you could just make pancakes or have eggs or something, or even cans of beans or soup or something? I mean, oh yeah, Grandma Teresa, anywhere up north that deals with it on a regular basis. And the cold too. The cold up there, with codes and stuff, your pipes, you still have burst pipes, you do. But, codes, you got to be down 3 feet, 4 feet to bring the water lines into the house and things like that. Well, down here, they put the water lines a foot under the ground. So if you get a week of hard frost, and you get a week of 10-degree weather, you might be busting pipes everywhere because the codes down here don't take into account the cold that you can get up north versus here, Same thing with buildings. You don't get all the snow load, so the codes for the roofing down here are different. You may only have to be 24 on center versus 16 up north. Well, what happens when you do get that snow load and a freak accident? You're going to have houses with stuff collapsing. It just, Exactly, Grandma Teresa. Yes. Yeah. That's why I like having either a fireplace or a wood stove in the house. We have a fireplace over there, and I only use it maybe once a year. But the one year we did lose power for a couple days, and I had that fireplace running for a couple days, and I have a generator. We had the little electric heaters in the bathrooms pointed at the pipes, shut those doors, and then this living area stayed 65 degrees, even though it was 10 degrees outside. So, and I have a little bullet propane heater I can blow under the house. Because, you know, a lot of people, I mean, back then, sure, went back in the day, a lot of people cooked inside. A lot of times back then, they didn't have indoor plumbing. So they cooked on a stove, or they cooked on the fireplace with the little swinging arm and stuff. Those were just different days, man. Those, you know, they could survive anything. Yep. Oh yeah, Grandma Teresa, you'll be okay. One of these days, I am going to get one of those little solar units. They're compact. I think it's made by Blue Eddy. There's Predator, and there's another brand name. And you know, they have the whole house one. That's like $2,000. I'd love to have it because it'll run everything in your house. So you can run your house for a day or two. And then you can just buy cheap solar panels at Harbor Freight. So Oklahoma, you know, we have what, 320 sunny days a year? So we always have sun. So I have a carport right out there. I could put them on there, run it into the house, and I could charge it on solar all the time. Lose power, I'd still have that thing charging, wouldn't have to worry about it. Uh-oh, what's happening with traveling Wickcombs? Is today Thursday? Thursday the 21st. Where is this month going? Terracotta pots and candles make great space heaters. I have seen that, yes. Oh, it's Wednesday. I'm sorry. Okay. It's Wednesday the 21st. I was going to say tomorrow's Friday. Everybody have a great weekend. But, oh my goodness. I'm tired. I haven't even had any coffee yet today. As soon as I got home, I had to go to the bank. I got gas for the generator, and just in case, and other stuff settled around. So after this, I'll go get myself a cup of Joe. Jay's a survival nut, so we're good. That's right. He'll just hop in the truck and go get a Rambo. Well, half of the Rambo would last Natty 3 or 4 days. I've seen Jay go at that Rambo sandwich. That would last him about 5 minutes. That really looks good. I'd love that Rambo sandwich. There's not, you know, we have, now there is a place down by my wife. It's called the Hungry Hippo, I believe. And they make huge sandwiches. Probably not as big as the Rambo, but they fill the sandwich up. We just get the 6-inch sub. She gets what she wants, I get what I want, because I like the roast beef and all that. She doesn't like roast beef. And it is crazy. Claire had to look at her calendar to see what day it was. I lose track of days. I just do. I just lose track of days. I know tonight I have no plans. I don't have to go over and watch my grandson unless they need me. My son and daughter-in-law are both home for a couple days. So tonight's my night like it used to be when I was a kid, when I used to get excited because Gunsmoke was coming on. And Gunsmoke was the show I loved to watch when I was a kid. So, you know, when that Wednesday night rolls around and, you know, you're at school all day, I can't wait to see, you know, Marshall Dillon gunfight somebody, you know. Now my Wednesday boils down to Leonard Mountain Homestead, and then Wendy from Hardknack Farms, and M&T Homestead. So I watch 3 hours of live streams. I loved Bonanza. I loved Bonanza. I loved Gunsmoke. I liked Emergency, remember Rampart 51? I loved 1 Adam 12. That's why I always wanted to get into law enforcement, was because of 1 Adam 12. 1 Adam 12, 1 Adam 12. We have a 1030. I mean, I just used to love that show. Emergency, the beginning. I loved the beginning when because my son's a paramedic and he has the entire emergency, because I told him about it, and he bought the whole set, and he loves watching the show, and so he's got the whole CD set. But when Johnny, I think it's Johnny, right? The dark-haired guy, he was the younger guy. When he has the things and he flips them off with his thumbs and the caps pop off the tubes or whatever. That was always so cool. I always used to think that was so cool when you hear the dun, da, 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 the music playing, all of a sudden he's flipping the thumbs up and the things pop off. And or no, it was the things for the, was it the things for the, whatchamacallits, for the chest. And then $6 Million Man. Who remembers the $6 Million Man? Steve Austin. I loved the beginning of that show, the narration part when he gets dropped from he's in that test jet and he loses control. That was so cool. That was when I first started liking Bigfoot, because he fought Bigfoot in two episodes. He became friends with Bigfoot, you know, blah, 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 because they were space aliens or whatever. But I love that. I was for a little bit, and I also worked in jails for 8 or 9 years. And would never do it again. You see enough stuff in 8 years. I don't know how some people do it for, to watch the sad part about that, Natty, is, the worst part was dealing with teenagers that were using, and then you try to talk to them, they come in, you bring them in multiple times, and then you find out, that they overdosed or something. They tell you they're trying to. You try to get them hooked back in with their parents, try to get them help, get them to counseling, because they were very big about that, is to get the people in counseling. And then one day you get a call from somebody and say, hey, remember that girl? And you're like, yep, she passed away, she overdosed. 21 years old, 17 years old. In Texas, you're considered an adult at 17, so they make a lot of arrests at 17 in Texas. So you'll get a lot of kids finding their parents' prescriptions and deciding at 17 life was not worth living. It's really sad stuff. So, that kind of changes you, and you start to, it really does, because I'm a much different person now than I was 10 years ago. And my wife, the day I said I'm done, she was excited. She's like, you've changed so much, it's just not cool anymore. And, but I'm glad I did it, because it was, there's a lot of cool stuff about it, and you get to help a lot of people. As long as you're tied in with the right bunch. Like everybody else, there's good ones and bad ones. Yeah, they did. The Bigfoot, the surfboard, everything about it. This is my grandson's present to me. I've told the story before. It is, Natty. It really is. It slaps you in the face when you walk in the room first and you see that. And it's just, you just never forget it. And it's a shame. And there's nothing you can do to console the family, nothing you can do to change the situation. It's done. It's finito. I've told this story before. I tell my kids not to get me anything for Christmas, for my birthday, for Father's Day. Don't waste your money on me. Please, please, please. So now what both my kids do is they buy me stuff, put my grandkids' names on it, and say it's from my grandkids, because they know I won't say no to my grandkids. So they outsmarted me once again. So, which I don't mind. But yeah, I don't know if I showed you this one. Not only that, it's Sasquatch stacked on Sasquatch. So they go to, my son and daughter-in-law sometimes go to Broken Bow. And so I have my In Search of Sasquatch. Ho-Chi-Town. So, yes, Claire, it can be. It can be a rewarding one, and it can be a tough one. What are you growing for the first time this spring that you are most excited about? Okay. I started them last year. I planted my asparagus crowns. That's probably what I'm most excited about right now, because I haven't harvested from them, because you got to wait a year or two before you harvest from them, because you have to let them grow. They fern out, get like 6 feet tall, absorb all that from the sun. And then the next year, all of that energy has gone down into the roots. Then when they come out, they're a healthier plant. They've spread. They're a healthy plant now. Now you can start to take your clippings. And then, so on this year, I have my part of my patch I can actually harvest. So I'm excited because I love taking asparagus, wrapping them in bacon, putting a toothpick through each side, putting it on the grill, grilling it until the bacon is done, and just cutting it and just getting bacon and asparagus in every bite is just delicious. And then, of course, the other thing I'm super excited, I mean, I want to get to 200 pounds of potatoes, 200 pints of green beans, because that's the goal I set for myself. Doesn't excite me to grow them anymore, because I know how to grow them and I know I can do it. What I'm excited about this year also in my garden is, Todd, is the subscriber garden. Because I've got, I think, 8 people now have sent me seeds. So I'm going to have, I have asparagus, I have, oh my goodness, I can't even name them anymore. But I have like 8 or 9 different plants to grow from all these, and flowers. I have some marigolds and hibiscus and something else. I can't remember. Carol sent me something else. I can't remember what it is. It makes your pea steak. Yeah, but I'll tell you what, I love fresh asparagus. And if you noticed, I've had fresh asparagus from gardens before, and they're so much better because you go to the grocery store, they have the nerve to sell, you know, over time as the asparagus grows, they get woody at the bottom, almost like it's a piece of like a wooden branch. They'll sell that in the store. They'll clip them. You got to bring them home, and you have to clip a ½ an inch off the bottom sometimes because it looks like wood. You can't eat it. I got, yes. I got my yellow watermelon. I'm excited about this because I have cantaloupe to grow and I have watermelon now, because I wanted to grow watermelon last year. I didn't get to it. My wife wanted cantaloupe. We did successfully grow cantaloupe. Unfortunately, it was, I planted it, it was 100 degrees, so I only got 2 or 3 cantaloupe. Next year, I'm starting, hey Scotty, next year I'm starting them in the spring, so they're not gonna go through the hot summer. I know I'll get more this year. Oh yeah, give a big shout out to Sock. Yep. And they even put the card in here. Big shout out. The Canned Mac Project. What's really cool about this is they give me the QR code, their name on here, but then it looks like the play button, the pause, the volume and everything, the settings, and the screen size all on the back like it's an actual screen. That's a very clever card. Everything about this, I mean, all the cards, I got a ton of cards this year. I was amazed at the outpouring that people in this community just send stuff, you know. Thanks, Claire. I think 8 to 10 folks are going to try to grow those from all parts of the country. That's awesome. Yeah, that is cool. And that's what I wanted to do this for, because I sent seeds out to people also. I think Misty has some. I think Shannon has some. I still owe Misty some of my sugar pie pumpkins. And I sent some to, did I say JC Calamity Jane? If I didn't, I sent them to her. I think I sent some to Carol maybe. Maybe not. But I'm hoping that when they plant theirs, then they can also, I want to see videos where we're all planting each other's stuff. The thing I'm struggling with right now is Hearth and Home, Mural from Hearth and Home sent me Calypso beans. And they're a hard shell and they look like little orca whales. And some of them, I soak them. I've followed directions. I've looked them up online. I do exactly what they say. And I've only had one so far germinate. So I'm hoping next spring when I do them, that being outside in the natural sun and the good composted soil, that they'll start to grow. And I think they will. Even if I only get a couple, I don't care. I just want to get a couple to show people the different seeds that people grew. I'm not expecting to get a huge harvest off the subscriber garden. It's for the subscriber garden. So when I run videos, I believe people can go in and remix off of mine. I don't know, maybe I'm not right. I could be wrong, but I think somebody can go in and pick a remix or pull something off of my video and then they can use it. I think, I may be wrong, but if not, I can do it and I can send them a clip. And if they want to put it in their stuff, they can add it to their video or they can have a picture for a thumbnail. That's why I wanted to do it, because I wanted to be able to take a picture of a plant that they sent me with their plaque that has their channel name in front of their plant. So if they wanted to use that in a thumbnail or just on their page somewhere, or not at all, it doesn't matter. I thought that would be really nice for them to be able to see that and do that. But, well, everybody, I have to get running because I have to have dinner ready on the table for my wife when she gets home, or Okies is in a heap of trouble. I'm just kidding, I'm not in trouble. But there's Lisa. Lisa, go check Lisa out. Lisa, yeah, that's right, Be the Good Husband, that's right. Go check out Lisa's channel. She does, you name the music, she plays it. She's got tons of shorts now that shows, I can't even believe I've never seen a collection that big. But go check her channel out. Yes, and Grandma Teresa and Lisa are sisters, twin sisters, and they've been to each other's homes, and they've done stuff together on her channel. So, anyways, it's Wednesday, the 21st of January. Thank you for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you guys look forward to this growing. Thank you for your support, for putting up with me, for supporting me, getting me to this point. I really, really, really appreciate it. And again, thanks for the camaraderie and the way everybody gets along in here and helps each other and can help with moderating and watching out for trolls. And they don't last long in this bunch. That goes just like going into a buzzsaw. You got Natty here. Natty's quick on the draw. There's a couple other people here that are quick on the draw, that if anybody shows up trolling, I think Natty might have the edge. She's probably the quickest. She's got the quickest troll trigger in the West. But she can sense them before they're even there. She's like the Chuck Norris. She's the Chuck Norris of troll killers. Anyways. No, I don't. I never see them. So tonight I'm probably just going to make. Last night I did hamburgers. I made fresh hamburgers with seasonings, with cheese, and they were delicious. Tonight I think I'm just gonna do spaghetti with a meat sauce. I'm gonna cook up some meat now and season it, put it in some spaghetti sauce, and then I usually parboil the pasta, and then I finish cooking it in the sauce to help it draw into the stuff. So, and then I sliced up some mozzarella, or I shredded some mozzarella earlier. So, thanks everybody. Have a great evening. If you get a chance, there's 3 lives tonight. You can check them out on my channel. I have them listed. Hope to see everybody there. If not, hopefully I'll see everybody here Tuesday to see me talking with Springs and Pucks for our collaboration on Tuesday. Everybody have a great day. Be safe. Take care.